presented in here is not necessarily endorsed by Appion. And if there's any links to any third-party technologies, please go ahead and evaluate those yourself. So now I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Sosa to share with you some real-life mobile apps. Hi, Philly.
Hello, Ramin. Hello, everyone. Thank you for inviting us to this webinar. You will have a couple of seconds to read the disclaimer. Well, Armin already told you the disclaimer, so I'm not starting and the webinar. Well, first of all, I'm going to give you an introduction or comment about myself. I'm going to be talking about how to create a responsive user interface. It is very important when you design the modifications and also on a Zoom. So it'll be good if design made use one thing, and that design will work great for both devices. Also, I'm using device ID, remember the user. I'm going to tell you how to create this functionality. It is important to give the user some time. The applications are used by the user many days, so it is going to be like time consuming if you every time to provide the login credentials. So you the functionality to remember the user.
Hi, Philly.
Yes.
Hey, we're having a hard time hearing you. I think it's because the internet voice over IP, the audio is cutting in and out. Is it possible that you dial into the webinar service using a telephone?
Okay, let me see. Are you hearing me well right now?
It just keeps cutting in and out, and there's also a big delay in sharing your screen when you're switching between slides. So it could be the internet connection from where you are to the US server.
Okay. Let me.
So in the GoToMeeting control panel, the webinar, there's an audio panel. If you expand that, there's a couple options for how to do the audio.
Phone call? Phone call?
Yes. I think if you do that, that would really improve the audio. So hi everybody, thanks for joining us today. Apologize for the small technical glitch. We'll be getting the audio back momentarily, so please just stay tuned.
Okay, Armin?
Yes.
Can you listen?
Yes, the sound is much better now. And then I think the only thing is when you're going through the slides, maybe when you're clicking on the slides it goes slowly, or in your demo, because there's a delay from when you move your mouse and when we actually see something here. I guess it's probably because of the internet connection. Okay.
Okay, right there, can you see?
Yes, we see using device ID to remember the user, dynamically creating data sources.
Okay, perfect. So right now, also another functionality is I'm going to show you how to create dynamically the data sources. Data sources are needed by the Appion application to connect to a database. Also, I'm going to show you that functionality of reading and writing to the NFC tag. We found very useful, this technology very useful for our business, and I'm going to show you a video on how we are using the NFC tag. Also, we are showing that functionality to include the maps in the mobile application. Appion is providing objects, so we can include the maps in the applications. Another functionality is I'm monitoring the travel with the GPS. One nice functionality that we are also including in our application is the use of the GPS. We created an application for the supervisors, so we need to make sure that the supervisor is really at any given location. So with the GPS, we are being able to do that. Also, showing a functionality of taking, resizing, and uploading pictures to the server. When you take a picture on the mobile application, you know the mobile devices create a big picture like 2 megabytes, 1 megabyte. So we need a functionality, and Appion is providing an object so we can resize that picture and going from 1 megabyte to 100K, so we can upload the image faster to the server. We are going to be capturing signatures with an InkPicture. That's a new object that Appion included in the latest versions of Appion, and it'll help us a lot in our application. And finally, I'm going to show you how to insert Google Graphs. Remember, well, PowerBuilder since the beginning, the graphics have not been improving. So I'm happy that in the new roadmap, Appion is now, I think it's for 2019, it's going to include a better chart. But right now, you need to wait until that happens, because you can include the JavaScript and the Cascade style sheets and HTML into a WebView object. So that's very nice that you can have this functionality in your mobile app. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and talk a little bit about myself. Well, my name is Filiberto Sosa. I'm the CEO of Sizes and Colors. In the last days, Appion sent me this template, and I needed to add a picture of myself. So I was looking in my computer, so since everything I do is running, this is the only picture that I found about myself, and so here I am. I like to run, and that's good for me, because if I feel that if I run, and my business keeps running also. Well, my key skills, I've been with PowerBuilder for 23 years. I started with version 3.0. And, well, fell in love with the application at the first time, and continue to working on that tool. So I'm very glad that SAP got this partnership with Appion to continue their product. As many PowerBuilder developers, we thought that SAP were going to kill the PowerBuilder, but I'm very glad that SAP had a great vision to continue with the product and found the greatest partner. They found Appion, and we are sure that Appion is going to continue the product and do a very well job on keeping it as the best tool ever made for developing client-server applications and web applications. Let me go back. Okay, I've also been doing Microsoft SQL Server for 17 years. Okay, Appion Web, we started in 2005, so we've been working with Appion Web for 12 years. And Appion Mobile, well, since it started in the year 2013, where we were testing the beta version of the Appion Mobile, and it's been a great product since the beginning. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna see the and the recent project that we have in 2013. We implemented a SAP R3 interface with sizes and colors for Flexi, the largest shoe manufacturer in Mexico. And we are very glad about this project because our customers, before they needed to send purchase orders by email, and it was taking a lot of time to process the orders. Right now, with an interface to SAP, we are able to send in real time the purchase orders, so the time that the merchandise takes less to deliver to the store. And well, in 2014, we implemented sizes and colors for Club Footwear, a retail chain with 140 stores in Mexico. In 2015, we implemented sizes and colors for USA Shoes, a retail chain with 180 stores in Mexico also. In 2016, we implemented sizes and colors for the first customer in Colombia, and localize the software to meet the taxation requirements that that country has. So that's a little bit about myself, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about my company. Okay, let me show the next screen. Okay, company profile. Well, Sizes and Colors, we are an ERP software for chains of shoe store. We are specialized on that industry, and that makes us leaders in Latin America. We have been building our software for 20 years in PowerBuilder, and well, Latin America is the target market, and right as of today, more than 3,000 stores run our software on a daily basis. Okay? As a key fact, well, the software is deployed to the cloud at a data center in Dallas, Texas. Our applications were deployed to the web with Appion 2016, and the web apps are running right now on 5 IIS servers on a Windows 2008 server. We are basically 3 developers using PowerBuilder 10.5, and as you see, well, we are a small number of developers for the 3,000 stores. And that's what we like about PowerBuilder, and right now more with Appion Mobile, because otherwise, if we didn't have this technology, we were forced to hire an iOS team of 5 developers maybe, and then another Android team of 5 developers just to create our app. So the nice thing about Appion Mobile is that with the same skills that we have with the PowerScript, the Transact SQL, all the technology that we've been using for the last years, we are being able to develop very nice mobile apps. So that's why we are very glad with Appion Mobile. The mobile apps run a separate IIS server, and in 2016, our customers in Mexico sold 80 million pairs of shoes, representing 30% of the commercial shoe activity. We have presence in 8 countries, including the United States, and we are located in Leon, Mexico, and our sister company, Dora Sistemas, is a master distributor in Latin America for Appion. Okay, that's a little bit about my company, so let's start and talk about the applications that we have built. On the types of mobile applications, we have many types, but since we have 1 hour, for this webinar, I'm going to show you 3 applications that we have built, and the first one is for store supervisors. Okay, the store supervisors, as I told you, they need to go to the store, they need to check if everything is working all right, they need to see if everything is clean, they need to see if the warehouse is ordered, they need to see if the personnel has the uniform, I mean, they have many things that they need to check, so they have this checklist, and they have many functions to do their job. Also, we created the application for the sales assistant. Right now, the fashion retail industry, it's having a lot of changes. It's requiring a lot of technology, and we have been able to deliver that technology, that functionality with the sales assistant. Imagine you get to a shoe store, and right now you ask for the sales assistant if you want a particular product on a specific size, and then this person goes to the warehouse, you know, after 10 minutes, they return and tell you, oh, I'm sorry, I don't have the product available in your size. So, I mean, with this application, we can tell the customer right away if we have the size and where is the location in the warehouse. So it'll take us less time to serve the customer. Remember that all the companies are selling the same products. I mean, you go to any store, you will find maybe the same brand. So what companies need to do right now is to start focusing in selling or offering customer experiences. So that's what we are offering for customers, the ability to provide this customer experience and to create loyalty with your customers. This is the second application. And another application is for store owners. The store owners need to be informed in real time of the sales of all the stores, the most sold items, of any inventory information or turnover information. They want to be informed in real time about the operations of the stores. So let's start with the first topic there. Well, creating a responsive user interface. As I told you, well, it is important that we design for the larger devices. Remember that your application is going to run on the tablet and also on the smartphone. If you're thinking in doing a separate design for the tablet and then another design for the smartphone, I mean, it'll be very time consuming. So it'll be nice if you just work on one design for the tablet, and then that design is going to work perfectly on your smartphone. So that's what I'm going to talk about this, how to use that. Appeon is providing an object to resize all controls in Windows. This resize object is based basically on a PFC. If you're familiar with PowerBuilder Foundation classes, they have this object to resize all controls in the Windows. And but some of the users, for example, we don't use PFC for all our applications. So what Appeon did is basically extracted that code from PFC and created a standalone object, so we could use it if we don't have the PFC implemented in our application. So it's a very small object that uses the basic functions to give you this functionality to resize all the objects. So the object, when you install the Appeon Mobile, it'll give you the Appeon workaround table, and in that table you're going to find a lot of objects. So you need to create an instance variable of the Appeon resize. That's the class that Appeon is offering. So you create an instance variable of, to work with that. The source code that you need to implement in the open event is basically the resize. The first function you need is you need to init the service. You need to tell that you're going to resize the font, and you're telling me that you're going to zoom, and this is basically for the data windows. The data windows are going to be zoom in or zoom out, depending the case and depending the size of your mobile device. In the resize event of the window, you need to use the off resize, and that's basically what you need. Let's go and see the source code. I'm going to go to PowerBuilder right now, and I'm going to tell you what happens if I remove the resize code. This is the window that I'm expecting right now, and what happens if I take away this code. Okay, I'm going to go to my server where I do all my development. Okay, let me connect to the VPN. Okay, here I have my application. I'm going to show you the design that we made the first time. I'm using PowerBuilder 10.5. And basically, if you see these are picture buttons. If you see my screen, that's a big screen to fit on the smartphone. So basically, this is a screen for a tablet, okay? So I'm going to go to my base object. I have an object which, okay, the base object. It's a very simple one. And here's my code. So I'm going to comment this code. The resize, the init, the font resize, and the zoom. I'm going to comment this line. And I'm going to save it. And here is what Appion provides. When you install Appion, it'll install this toolbar in PowerBuilder. So right here, I can deploy my application. Okay, I'm going to my application. There it is. And I'm going to show you my air server. Hold on, please. Let me start air server. I'm just waiting to my iPhone to connect to the air server. Hold on, please. Okay, let me see why it's not starting.
Hi, Philly. I wonder if it might be your VPN connection. When you're on the VPN, maybe the air server can't.
Well, do you know if it's a telephone call that is not enabling us the air server? Because I was testing it before, and I have I'm connected to the, let me see. Yeah, I'm connected to the right Wi-Fi. We have the same Wi-Fi as the computer. And basically right here, yes, I'm seeing the air server. Let me see.
Yeah, I'm not sure. If you're using the same phone to call and also try to do the air server, it could be an unsupported feature of the air server mirroring.
Okay. What I can do is call you from another phone, call into the, is that okay if I load call to the?
Sure. Well, let's try that. Or what we could do is focus on the code as well, and because we do have screenshots that shows the difference. It's up to you. If you want to do the demo, we can, or we could spend probably more time on the code, and PowerBuilder is what people are interested in, how to do these techniques.
Okay, perfect. What do you think if at the end I connect to the phone, I disconnect and see the application running on the phone? Because that's the problem of because we are doing the call at the same time. So okay, I continue with the code because I have all the screenshots.
Okay, great.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Okay, so what happens if I recite the code? I have this problem. and this is the screen that I would get in the iPhone. And when I put the code again here, if I uncomment this, if I uncomment all these lines, I go to the resize. Basically, I'm going to get the, okay, I deploy the application. And that's it. So when I add this code, so this is basically what I get. I get the icons get resized to my iPhone screen. Okay, so that's why I'm going to show you also using a device ID to remember the user. As I told you, well, every application, the user needs to provide login credentials to access the application. So after the user accesses the application for the first time, we can save the device ID for future reference. Appion is providing with the workarounds, and it has a class, so we can all the device information. The next time the user logs in, it will access automatically without the need to provide customer username and password. So the Appion workarounds table has the object Appion Mobile device X. This object is providing functions to get all the device information. We can get the device ID, we can get the memory available, we can get the operating system, we can get the type of device that we are using. So basically, in the source code, you need to create an instance of the object, the on-mobile device X. So one of the functions that you're going to get the unique ID for that specific mobile device, okay? The device, the function is called get device ID. Okay, sorry about that. Let's see. Get device ID. And another thing in this variable, it will give you the name of the device. Then we can also get the operating system for that mobile device. It'll tell us if it is iOS or Android, and the function is called get platform. Okay. Right now, let's go to the source code and let's see when the user accesses the application. Okay, here we have the login. I need to close my base object, and I'm going to open the login. Okay, every time that you access the application, it'll ask you for a customer, the username, and the password, okay? So I'm going to connect to main database. First of all, let me show you the source code right there. And the first thing we do is that we obtain the customer. We need to connect to the customer database right here. Okay, I'm going to find this function. I'm going to connect to the main database. No, I'm going to connect to the customer DB. And hold on, let me create the data source. I'm going to find this data window. Hold on, please. When I connect to the, hold on, please. Yeah. Okay, in the open event of the window, here I'm going to look. Okay, first of all, I connect to the main database, and what I need to get right here is the device ID, this mobile device. So I create an instance of this object, I get the device ID. So what I do is I have a table in which I save all the devices. And if I found the device on this table, what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect to the customer's database, and I'm going to close this window. What window am I in right now? Well, I'm in the window where I need to provide the username and the password. But basically, I'm going to close this window, and I'm going to open the menu. So the application is not going to ask me for the username and the password. So with this basic technique, I mean, the only thing you need to do is you need to get the device ID, okay? And then you can go to the table and see if that device is there. And if it is there, okay, what you need to do is just close the window and open your menu. So that's basically the code for saving the user for future access. Okay, dynamically creating data sources. What Appian needs to, the Appian application needs to connect to a database. It's called a data source. That data source is, for example, here I need to connect to data source customer 1. I'm creating a Microsoft SQL server. I provide the host, the port number, the data source name, the username, and the password. So this is Appian provides Appian Enterprise Manager to create these data sources manually. But for example, the thing is that we have 560 databases with all our customers, and we're growing. So every database is a data source. So it will take us a lot of time to manually add 560 data sources. So Appian provided an interface so we can create those data sources dynamically. Appian Workarounds table has the object Appian dconfig data source, and the connection data is stored in the structure beyond str connection. Okay, let's see what information we need to provide in that structure. This information we need to provide it in order to the data source to be created. Okay, first of all, we need to tell the data type. So we are using SQL Server. We are telling the port. We are telling the server that we are connecting to, the username, the password, the database, name of the physical database, and the data source name. That's how we are going to identify our data source. And also, once that we have the information in that structure, we create an instance of the Appian dconfig data source. So we create the instance, and the first thing that we need to do is we edit that data source. If it returns different than 0, it means that it didn't find the data source to create the data source. Okay, let's go to the source code. I'm going to show you the functions, connect to customers DB, and create the data source. Okay, right here when I am at the in the open event, okay, I'm going to connect to customers database, and I'm going to go to connect to customer DB. So we created this function that's called create data source. That's the function that I need to go, create data source. So as you can see, I'm providing the structure. First I define the structure where all the connection information should be located. The data type, the port, the server, the username, the password, all the fields need to be set with information. When you have all this structure with the information, okay, we go to the Appian dconfig data source. And right there, you make an instance, and then you edit your data source. If it returns 1, it means that it's not there. So we proceed to create the data source. So right now, I'm going to open my Appian administration, Appian Enterprise Manager. Okay, I'm good. I have 20 days. I'm going to show you my resources. I'm going to the data source, and I'm going to, well, you cannot see right now my phone, but I'm going to access the application so you can see how the data sources are created automatically. I'm going to go and see the first one. Okay, what I'm doing right now on my mobile device, I'm putting a name of the customer. Okay, that's the first one. So that, if I do refresh right here, okay, I have the data source. I'm going to write another one. I'm on my iPhone. Okay, group of CVE. And here is another data source. I'm going to set a new one. And that's it. That's another one, Rivera 1. So that's all the information that, everything that we're doing with to create the data sources dynamically. As you see, I don't need to create it manually. The Appian interface is helping me to do that. Okay, every time a new customer opens the app, a new data source is created. Now, leveraging NFC and retail. Well, as I was telling you, fashion retail experiences a lot of changes because of technology. Instead of products, companies choose to start offering experiences. So we have apps for the sales assistants in order to help the customers as much as possible. The NFC stands for Near Field Communications, and it's a wireless technology to communicate over short distances. In this video, you're going to see how we have implemented this technology. Okay, the first thing is you need to assign that video. It's telling you that you're looking for a particular product. First, you find the product, and once that you find the product, you're going to save that information to the NFC tag. That tag, you can find it in Amazon for $1. Okay, you save the information to the item, to that particular, to that NFC tag. Now let's assign another item to a different tag. So you look for the item on the system. That's our Appian application on the Android device. So that's the product, and that's it. You write the information to the NFC tag. So now imagine you are in the store. Okay, you get to the sales assistant. So the sales assistant is, you're going to ask, hey, you have this product on my site. So every item in the store will have this tag, okay? You can assign a tag for every item. And when the customer asks the sales assistant for inventory information, for price, promotions, any information about the product, okay, the sales assistant is going to tap with the smartphone, and that's it. You have the information of the item, you have the price, you have the inventory by size. The customer tells you, okay, let's check me on another product. So this is another product, and you have the information of the inventory for that product. So here you are creating a customer experience. I mean, you didn't have to wait in order for the sales assistant to go to the warehouse and tell you that the item you were looking for is not there. I mean, in real time, you get that information. And the good thing is with Appian Mobile, you can get that functions working. Okay, so the Appian workarounds provides you the object EON Mobile NFC and the structure EON Mobile NFC record. So the first thing you need to do is you create an instance of your own mobile NFCX, and you need to open the service. Okay? That's what you do in the open event. The reading, okay, what I'm doing, this NFC tag has this circuit where you are going to store the information, and what I'm sending basically on this structure, the message type free, the string, the type is string, the payload is the code for the item, 151520 is the code for my item. Then I add the code add record, and then I'm going to write the records to the NFC. So this is the code. You need to write the information to the NFC. After that, you have the screen where the customer is going to ask you about the inventory, about the price of the product. So the only thing you need to do is just a function of get and that record. Okay, so you will go to the tag and get the item code. So you will go and display all the information for this particular item. So this has been a very helpful technology in our industry. The Super V, okay, we created this Super V application. Remember I told you that stores have supervisors who make visits every 15 days to see how everything is going. We created this app to help supervisors to do their job. And an app is a very valuable resource because the GPS, we can be sure that the supervisor is in fact visiting the store. Some supervisors really need to go to many locations every day. So sometimes we are not sure if the supervisors went to the store and do their job. So with the GPS, we are making sure that the supervisor is really there. So here with the map, we can see also if you're a new supervisor and you're looking for a particular location, so you just select the store location and it will show you the map. So that's the functionality of ION mobile map found in Appian. We need to fill information for these structures, the map option and the map annotation. Those are the structures. So the functions to be used is the open. You send the structure of the option Appian, and you also send the add annotation, where it's another structure for this tool. Let me see how we are in time. Okay, let me go ahead with another topic. So the travel with the GPS, we have customers that need to supervise 2,500 locations every month. So the task needs to be accomplished with 20 supervisors who need to visit 6 stores daily. So as I told you, we need to make sure that the supervisors went there. The corporate office really needs to make sure that the supervisor were present at the store. So with the GPS in the mobile device, it's a great tool for this purpose. So
Hi, Philly.
Yes.
We're still seeing slide number 25.
Okay.
Are you on a different slide?
Oh, sorry. Let me see. I'm in page 30. No, at page 27.
Okay. Yeah, we're seeing slide 25 right here.
I'm at 28 right now.
Okay.
Can you see it?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, hold on, please. I just changed the wireless network. I'm going to connect to another one.
Yes. Now we're able to see Now we're seeing your desktop. It probably froze up for just a second.
Okay.
Yes, now it's working. Now we're good.
You see there?
Yes, monitoring travel with GPS.
Okay, so I was telling you, first we need to provide this, we need to create this instance of the ION Mobile geolocation X. And the first thing we need to do is use these functions to see if the GPS is enabled in our mobile device. If it is not enabled, then we need to turn on your GPS. We send a message. If it's enabled, okay, we open the service. And let's go to the source code. Let me see. Okay, hold on, please. Okay, right here we are connected to the source code. Let's go to source code of the GPS. This is a SuperView application, and we are going to the format. Okay, so this is our application in which we are going to check if we are at the store. Hold on, please. Verify coordinate. Okay, what we need to do is basically use this function to get the current position, and so we are in our database. The coordinates of the store that we are choosing, it's in the database. So we compare those coordinates with the current location. If we are there, then we can proceed. But if we are not, then the GPS, well, it will send us this message that the GPS indicates that you're not currently at that location. So this is a nice tool that we can make sure that the supervisor is really at that location. The pictures are very important. Okay, the SuperView can take pictures, and the pictures taken by the smartphones are heavy, so you need to resize them before uploading to the server. With the Appian library, the picture can go from 2 megabytes to 130 kilobytes, making the upload easier for upload to the server very easy. So picture needs to be uploaded to the server so the supervisor's manager can see the things at the store. So I'm going to go to the, first of all, the code for taking pictures in the Appian workarounds provides the object ION Mobile Camera X. So the first thing, you create an instance of this object. You need also a structure when you need to put the information. So you're telling here that the file type is one for picture, 2 for video. You're telling that the pictures can allow editing, and then you create your instance variable. Well, it's a local variable for the ION Mobile Camera X. So this is the only function you need to use to take the file. Okay, once that you take the file, it's stored on your mobile device, and you need to resize that picture. So Appian Workarounds is providing you the ION Mobile Image X. The ION Mobile you create, a variable for that, and you're telling the name of the new file. Okay, the characteristics of the file, you can tell you the object, the width, the new height. If it exists, when we can override it to true, the image type to 0, and the quality. Here is the key. I mean, if once that you go low in quality, the image can go smaller in size. So you can play with this number and see how the image looks. And we've been able to use number 5, and we even still good quality and very small file size. So after you have all this information, all this structure, you will create the image with options. This is the functions that you will use. You send the original file, the name, and you will send the structure with all this information, and it will create the image for you with that smaller size. So this is the function that we need to use. After you resize the picture, you can upload it to the server. So in this case, I'm explaining how to upload the file to the IIS server. So what you need to do here is, first of all, you need to use this function with the Appion file service. This object is provided by Appion in the workarounds. So you create an instance variable of this object. You, first of all, you need to log into the file server 10.1.1.80, okay? And the username, you specify a username and the password. Later on, you can upload the file, number of the file, the directory where you want it located, and a true to override it. And then after you upload the file, then you log from the file server. So that's basically what you need to do to resize and to upload your pictures. Capturing signatures. So this is another functionality that we are putting at the end of our checklist. When the users end the checklist, the manager of the store should put a signature. So Appion is providing also this object. The store manager needs to agree before sending the report to the corporate office. And the signature of the manager is an image that we also need to send to the server. Appion Workarounds provides the user object on InkPicture X, okay, for this purpose. And the only function you need to use here is when you write something into the object, you use save, and it'll go to a block file, and that's it. That's the only function you need to use there. Inserting Google Charts. Okay, the Appion WebView control access an internet browser inside your application. You can load HTML pages, PDFs, documents, and execute JavaScript. So Appion Workarounds is providing you the user object on mobile WebView X. So this is a normal PowerBuilder application, and you are inserting right here the WebView object. And the function Appion get cache there will tell you where that, because you need to create files. I mean, you need to create HTML, you need to create CSS and JavaScript files. So this function will tell you where those images are located, where the local files will be saved, okay? So the load local file, that's a function you need to call on the WebView. You load the HTML file, and you will get the file right here. I'm going to show you also, well, the three files that we need is the HTML, the CSS, and the JavaScript file. And let's go and see the source code. We don't have time. Let me just go very fast and show you the source code for the graphics that we are doing there. And let me close this one. I'm going to get the administrator site right here. I'm going to show you the JavaScript file. So that's basically what you need to add right here. For that graphic that you are looking there, you need to create a string, and maybe you're going to be asking where you get that code. Okay, that code is going to be, if you go to the Google Graph, charts gallery. Let's go and see an example of a chart. If you want, for example, add this chart. Okay, let's go and see it. There are some examples right here. So it'll tell you how to generate that JavaScript file. And once that you have the file, this is a JavaScript that you have right here. If you change values right there, okay, you get a change in the graphic. And that's it. You copy this code into your PowerBuilder application, and the graphic will be showing in the WebView object. So that's basically, I think we are running out of time. It went very fast. So I don't know if you have questions about these applications.
Yes, hi everybody. So if you have any questions, please go ahead and expand your webinar panel. There's a question section, and please go ahead and ask whatever questions you have, and we'll get the info from the mobile expert and see, hopefully they can help you with some advice. So one question is, can I trace route with the Eon Mobile Map X? So Philly, are you aware if they can do trace route?
If they can trace,
yes,
the route?
Yes.
Well, I think, well, if I understand well, right here, I mean, you can pass any the coordinates to the map. Okay, so if you're sending constantly the location of a vehicle or something, I mean, you can be changing constantly the position of that vehicle. So yes, you can be tracing that. Yes, it'll help you with that.
Okay, great. And the other question is, what are the base window dimensions? Do you start with a specific size, or do you have a recommendation? What should be the default size of your window for the mobile device?
Okay, right here, if you're seeing my screen, let's go to this one. We are looking at this one, the login. So what we are basically having here, it's the size. This is the size that we found is working well for us, and 3,500 width and 3,920 for this window will work perfectly on the iPad. So when it goes down to the iPhone, as I told you, well, we use a resize object and it works great. But I mean, this is a good number for the resolution of the screen.
Okay. Great. And are there any other questions from the audience? Please go ahead and type those in the chat panel, and we'll go ahead and get those answered for you live. So Philly, while we're waiting for other people to type their questions in, I just wanted to clarify regarding the Google Maps that you showed us. If I understand correctly, what you've done is you've taken an HTML page and you've included that with your mobile app. So when it's downloaded, that HTML page is also residing on the mobile device. And then through PowerBuilder using the WebView control, I think what you're doing is you're passing the parameters that HTML page needs so that it calls the Google Graph service to draw that graph inside HTML. Is that correct?
Yes. Well, basically what we are doing is the files that we need in order to display the graph. You need 3 files. Okay. You need the HTML file. You need the cascade field sheet and the JavaScript file. So these files, if you see right here, I'm creating the file. The HTML is very small. I'm telling here basically the location of where the code is going, the loader of the JavaScript, and I'm calling the JavaScript file. So these 3 files are created locally in the mobile device, okay? And when I insert the WebView object, I send it as a parameter. I send the HTML locally, so it loads the JavaScript, and here it tells that where it needs to go in order to load the graphic and to create it. So the files are locally. Yeah.
And there's more questions about the graphing. Do you have to be online to use this Google Graph, or can you draw the Google Graph in an offline mode when there's no internet connection on the mobile device?
No, you need an internet connection in the mobile device since graphics are real time. I mean, you need to go to the Google service, and then they will create the graphics for you, and then they return the graphic.
Okay. So I guess, Philly, if someone wanted to do an offline app, if they just use the traditional graph data window, then they could,
yes,
because you have the data at the client side, they could draw the graph that way. But if they want to take advantage of the Google Graph service, then you need internet connection.
Yes, they would use the traditional PowerBuilder graphics if they were online, and if they are online, they can use the Google chart.
Okay, excellent. Let's see, there's a lot of good questions coming in now. People are waking up. That's great. So another question regarding offline is, if the app loses connectivity with the DB server, for example, like the app is running and all of a sudden it drops the internet connection, or they get a loose signal, how do you handle the data sync? Are you doing anything special, or is your app designed that always it must have an online connection?
Well, the apps that we have right now, we are relying 100% on the internet connection, so we don't have any mechanism to be storing information locally. I mean, but Appion provides that functionality. We can use SQLite to also store the information locally, and then you can do, after the server, there is a function where you can be checking constantly if there is a server connection again, and then you can synchronize the information, but we are not using that functionality. I mean, we rely on the internet, and we need to be 100% on the internet. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Excellent. Okay. So if I understood correctly, your app is an online application because in your environment, there's always an internet connectivity available on the mobile device because they're inside the store when they're doing that. Right?
Yes, the supervisor gets to the store, connects to the Wi-Fi of the store, and so they need to have the connection.
Okay, excellent. And then another question is regarding the input text fields that you have for the in the PowerBuilder mobile app. Are they user objects, or do you allow input text fields on data window? I don't know if I'm understanding this question correctly.
Yes, I mean, we can do both.
Okay.
For example, let me go. I mean, you can do data window inputs, or you can do anything. Let me see. Let me lower assistance. I mean, right here, for example, this is a single line edit, okay? But in the others, we have also data windows. So I mean, you can use any type of object you want.
Okay. And specifically regarding data window has a long press feature. Are you doing anything with that in the mobile environment using the long press feature of data window, holding it down?
Excuse me, what is the long what?
Long press, like I guess pushing on the data window. I'm not familiar with this feature, so I'm not sure what that is.
I'm not familiar either. No.
Okay.
Long press, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that. Okay. Someone wants to know, can you share the source code, or at least you know, for the specific techniques, maybe not the entire, you know, SuperV application? Is that possible or not? Someone in the audience asked that.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we can share some of the code. For example, I can send you the functions on how we can create the Google Graphs, how we're doing the use using the GPS. I mean, some of the source code. Yes, I can create some objects and send it to you. No problem. Yes. Okay,
great. Are you deploying these apps via Amazon Web Service? I'm sorry, not Amazon Web Service. Are you deploying these apps as a workspace or a standalone app? So as you know, Appian Mobile gives you two options, right? You have the workspace container, or you can do individual apps.
Yeah, we're doing both. For example, the SuperV, we created a standalone app and we send it to the App Store. But some other mobile applications that we want to maintain internally within our customers, I mean, we use Appian Workspace, and we're not sending it. We're not sending them as a standalone application. So we can use both.
Okay. And then the other question is regarding app updates. So every time you have a new version of your mobile app, you deploy it to your Appian server, your IIS server. How do your users get that update? Are you relying on the App Store to give the updates to the users, to the mobile device? Or how are you doing?
No, that's a nice thing about Appian Mobile. It's automatically. I mean, once that I deploy the application, my application gets deployed to the server. So when the user is accessing the application in the mobile device, what the application does is it goes to the server, gets the code, gets the latest version, and downloads it to the mobile device. So the user, it's always running the latest version. So you can do many updates in the day, and just the user needs to log off from the application, logs in again, and he has the new version available.
I see. So Philly, I think if I understand correctly, what you're saying is once the app is installed on the mobile device, if you've made changes to a PowerBuilder window or a data window, the application on the mobile device will automatically update itself by connecting to your IIS server and getting those updated files directly. And the user does not have to do anything special.
Yes, that's correct. And the application gets deployed to the server, and when the user gets into the app, it goes to the server, gets the new files, the new version, so he will always have the new version without doing anything special.
Okay. So regarding that long press feature, there was a clarification up from the person that asked that question. Basically, this is regarding how to get focus in a text box inside of the data window. So either you double tap, right? So you click once to focus, I guess, the control, and then a second tap gets you into that text box where then you have the cursor. Or you can hold down on that text box field for a period of time. And this is a feature of Appian Mobile, I guess, that has been added. Have you tried using that at all? Or for users when they're inputting data in the data window to get focus on that text box?
I mean, well, we use sometimes, but the only thing we need to do is you just click on the data window, and then it'll get focused on the object. But I haven't used the new feature that you're telling me.
Okay. Okay. Great. And then let's see here. There we have, are you familiar with a framework called STD? It's an open source framework that's available for PowerBuilder besides PFC.
The Chris Pollack,
yes.
Which one is?
Yes, exactly.
Well,
Chris Pollack's framework.
Okay, yes, I've seen that framework. I haven't used it, but I mean, it works also on mobile. Yeah.
Yeah, so the question from the audience was, you know, is there a specific reason why you didn't use that or why you haven't considered to use that framework for your mobile app?
Okay, I mean, we feel that all the frameworks are good. I mean, PFC is real good, STD also is good, but we want to have control of all the objects since the beginning, and we want to know all the source code that we created ourselves. So we feel confident if we know all the source code from scratch. I mean, so that's why we don't use frameworks.
I see. So I think what you're saying is you're very familiar with PFC and you've become familiar with the functions that Appion provides. So, you know, you just stayed with that because that's meeting your needs for your project, right? You didn't see a need to look for something different. Okay, great. And then let's see here. So there's two other questions from the audience, and I'll just briefly answer this. One was, why didn't we run the apps live today? That's because we ran into a technical glitch with the screen sharing program called Air Server. Air Server is a program that allows us to mirror the screen of the mobile device onto the PC so that you can see it through the webinar service. And unfortunately, Philly has amazing apps, but we were not able to share the screens with you. But you have seen the source code, and as Philly said, he'll be providing code samples to you. The other question, let's see here, will there be a recording of this webinar and slide deck? Yes, the recorded webinar will be available. If any of you want the slide deck, you'll have to email us, and we can then email the slide deck as a PPT. But the webinars will be posted on our website and on YouTube. So you'll be able to review the webinar, pause it, and look at the code that Philly was sharing on the screen. In addition, when you go to the Appion website, not on YouTube, there will be a zip file of the code samples once Philly makes that available. My guess would be it'll probably take 1 to 2 weeks before all the code samples are online, but the webinar recording should be available within 1 or 2 days. Alrighty, so I think we've gone about 15 minutes over, but we did have a lot of great questions from the audience. And Philly, we'd like to thank you so much for your time of doing this great presentation and sharing all this knowledge with us. And we look forward
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you very much.
Yes, that's great. We look forward to more community presentations in the near future. If you have not been to the new Appion community site, you can go to community.appion.com. It has just been recently launched, so there's not tons of content, but it's a new place where you can start to ask questions and get to know your fellow PB developers. So thanks so much for joining today.
Thank you very much, Armin. Thank you, everyone.